Good morning, Piper. You ready to eat your breakfast this morning? Is that what you're waiting on? Morning, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's Wednesday, December the 15th, early here in the morning. Sun hasn't even quite come up yet. I showed you that beautiful sunrise we have coming. I showed you that and then turned the video around because the lighting is better this way. But before we start our regular day with stuff outside the place, off the place that we need to do today, I want to take you through a process where we'll prepare for the weather we got coming in. It is December, but I'm including a screenshot of the hour-by-hour play on our weather app for today. Here in Southwest Missouri, we have learned that when it doesn't matter what time of year it is, even though December seemingly is supposed to be winter, when you have thunderstorms, that the percentages of rain and percentages of thunderstorms increase from 25 or 30% up to 85%, and you have extremely warm temperatures. Here it is in December. I'm out here in a t-shirt this morning. It's 68 or 9 degrees already, and then the temperature is going to warm up through the day, and they're predicting thunderstorms to come in. Winds are supposed to pick up and get high. Then we are conditioned to know that that is really good conditions to have to make sure we prepare for possible tornadoes. They'll be watching for tornadoes today. There'll be watches out, and if there comes a warning, then that means there has been a tornado or a funnel cloud spotted or one on the ground. And so right now, because of where we live in the mobile home, and we have a storm shelter. It came with the place. You can see the humidity on everything. It's dry over here in this. Let's see, let me get my finger to work with the camera. It's dry right there, and a lot of moisture here, a lot of moisture on the step. That's just that high humidity that we know kind of sets those conditions to be possible for tornadoes. So we don't necessarily sit around and live in fear of those, but we do try to be wise and be prepared. Now we have not kept up with, I have not kept up with keeping this cleaned out. So this morning I'm going to go ahead and take the time to clean out our storm shelter, vacuum it out, sweep it out, clean the carpet. I've got a little loose piece of carpet I put down in there, and then put the lawn chairs back in there. The light that we had on the ceiling of it, the adhesive tape came loose and fell down, so I'm going to replace that. Get that stuck up there. I'll probably put that up there with caulking today and put a stick under it to hold it until it dries. We're going to get this all ready. Now we hope we don't have to use it, but when we come out here tonight to have to need it, I don't want to have to sit there with evidence of mice being in it, or ants, or cobwebs and dirt and dust. I want it to be as pleasant as possible, and so Miss Lisa and I can sit in there and just kind of ride out the storm. So I'll take you along on that journey with us today. I want to take you into the ham shack here. I call this the ham shack, just a little closet I've built here where I keep my ham radio set up. And I've been into ham radio for maybe 4 or 5 years now. A friend of mine got into it, and he got me into ham radio. And he has since passed away, so I do very little with the ham radio anymore. It was typically just he and I that did a lot of talking on the radio. And I used to check in on some nets from time to time. But this has something to do with our tornado shelter, because I have an antenna on top of this building that reaches out very well and reaches the towers, the repeaters. And so that antenna is hooked up into a 12-volt radio inside the ham shack. This is a 2-meter, 70-centimeter radio. It's a Kenwood, and it has crossband repeat options. What that means is I have 2 channels on this radio, and on one side, which is controlled by this knob, all of the towers are reached by the antenna on top of this building. And then I have it set on the right selection where any remote radio that is tuned into the channel on the other side can be keyed up. I'll key it up here. And I don't know if you could hear that repeater key back to me, but I can key this radio up, and instead of having to reach out with this antenna, which is almost impossible, it all goes through the big antenna on top of the building. So what I have done is I have set up a 2-meter mobile 12-volt ham radio in the storm shelter, and I have it set up to receive and to transmit through this radio. It comes into this side, goes out this side, and utilizes the antenna on top of the building. So while we're in the storm shelter, Lisa and I can keep up with a channel that's called Skywarn. And my understanding is all the news and information you get on the weather, on your television or on your phone or on the radio, the actual spottings of tornadoes and watching of those kind of storms comes through the channels just like this Skywarn, and they call in information to the news channels. So we get our information direct what's going on. Not only that, if a tornado happens and we are trapped, if a tree fell or blew over or something landed on top of our storm shelter and we couldn't get out, I have not only a cell phone. I do understand we can use cell phones, but we don't always know the cell phones will work, and I don't always know that the antenna won't get blown away from my 2-meter radio, but I have a second option to be able to get a hold of somebody in emergency if we want to get out. Now I want to show you how this system runs. If we have a power outage, what we have for options. This is a 12-volt radio, and it is plugged into a charge controller for some solar panels on top of the building. And then those solar panels are charging two 170 amp hour telecom batteries. So I have solar panels from Harbor Freight that I've had for several years. I had them for a pop-up camper we had, and they still work. And they go into the charge controller. It steps it down to these 12 volts, and it charges these two batteries, keeps these two batteries topped off. And then this 12-volt radio is operated off of the battery power, and the radio in the ham shack is 12 volt as well. So we're not relying on electricity in case of a storm. So we don't have all the amenities of home, but it is cleaned out as best as possible. We won't be in here barefooted. I have the pole in here temporary right now because I hung up a light with some caulking, an LED battery light, and this is just holding it up there until the caulking dries, then this will go away. I've got the 2-meter ham radio in here, and I'll bring you down here and give you a little update on that. So we got some chairs, got a candle, got light, and safety. All you're going to need during a tornado. So one of the things that I didn't catch earlier is the ham radio down there. I should have thought of this, but I didn't. It's 2-meter only, not 2 meters 70 centimeter. And that means it doesn't have the capability to tune into the frequency that I have for crossband in the shop. But this little HT, this little handy talkie, it does have that capability. And so it's on my channel there. I'll bring it up there. That 445-900, and it will be able to cross repeat with the antenna in there. So down there I'll have one channel on, the Stratford repeater or Skywarn, and here I can hit a more powerful antenna if I need to. So we've only been in this storm shelter one other time. It was for a very short time. There wasn't a piece of remnant carpet in it. There was no lawn chairs in it. I think we had some cots down there, and they filled up the whole thing. There wasn't anything but a candle and the emergency backpack and some cots. We didn't even take pillows. It was miserable. We didn't stay in there very long. Thankfully, we didn't need to. So when we got done with that, we said, we're going to make this a little bit more comfortable, a little bit better. It's hard to make yourself want to come out here and get in the storm shelter, but if there's a serious threat, we will. Now we have a piece of remnant carpet down. It's cleaned out. We got the chairs in there so we can relax. If we need to just go to sleep in there, we can go to sleep in there. We'll have a light, we'll have an emergency bag with us with some water in it and some other things, and the ham radio. So try to make these things as I don't know if I should say fun as you can or not, but make them as comfortable as possible. Now, some of our subscribers, I know that you pray with us. We ask you to pray about certain things, and we've seen comments. We know that some of our folks are Christian folks. You'd like to pray with us about those things. I wouldn't hold anyone accountable to pray for us about something when you're already busy in your own life and you have plenty of things to pray about. But if you do want to pray about something, when it comes to mind and you're watching our Homestead channel, you can pray with us about a big prayer request we have. And we love the Lord. We trust Him. We know He's got everything planned out in His timing. But what I would really like to do is build a new storm shelter. I'd really like to do that. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to build it right back there tucked in these woods behind this one. You can probably see the deer feeder right over here behind me. I'd like to build a new storm shelter right there, somewhere around 1,000 square feet, in the form of a basement. That is the other half of our dream of this property here, is to build that house right there. And so we're waiting on Him. We're working hard. We're putting some funds back and various other things and working hard toward that. And we believe one day He's going to let us do that. It'll be nice one of these days when we can just say storms and head to the basement. And so if you think about it and you want to, you can pray about that with us as well. But right now we're just going to rejoice in the fact that the property came with a storm shelter. Thank you for tuning into the channel. We appreciate all of our viewers. We appreciate each and every one of you who have subscribed to our channel. and hit the like button. That'll let us know that people are watching. It also helps us out a little bit with the algorithms. And then if you have any friends that enjoy this kind of stuff, tell them about our channel, encourage them to subscribe. You can hit that notification bell and you get notifications every time that we have new videos come out. If you don't like those irritating notifications on your phone, don't unsubscribe. Just do away with the notification bell. Thank you for watching. Hopefully everything will turn out okay tonight. We're not really afraid. I just didn't want to come out here in the spider webs and the mouse manure and all that. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.